Morning, students. We are reading this chapter, The Address. We have read it till here, and what we have read that our narrator visited that house of Mrs. Rawlings again, and then we found that Mrs. Rawlings is not there. She had gone to somewhere, and her daughter is there, and her daughter introduced our narrator into the house, and then narrator saw everything of her possessions scattered around the house. Everything is there: cotton tablecloths, crockeries, and many other things, antique pieces. Everything was there, and it was very hard for her to find familiarity with these all things. Why? Because they are just put into into a strange house, into a strange room. That room was strange for her, but the things which were kept there, they were all familiar to her, and she was very hurt by looking at that thing, looking at those things used by some other person. And she was just waiting for Mrs. Darling to come, and she was aware of the fact that that girl is not she didn't know that these all things belongs to our narrator. And she was just telling her that they had so much of the antique pieces, and they used to eat in those beautiful plates when there is special occasion, and that these all things were happening there. And now read further. I had found the burn mark on the tablecloth. The girl looked questioningly at me. Yes, I said. You get so used to touching all these lovely things in the house, you hardly look at them anymore. So what happened? She said that she was telling, that girl was telling her that they have ate off in those beautiful plates, but now there is no special occasion, so she could not eat in those plates anymore, but she really want to. And then our narrator found that burn mark on the tablecloth. She was just searching for that, and that girl was looking questioningly at her that why is she doing that, why she's searching that, and how she knows that there is a burn mark on the tablecloth. And then she said that yes, if you get so used to touching all those things in the house, so you do not look them anymore, you do not notice them anymore. You only notice when something is missing, because it has to be repaired, or because you have to lend it, for example. So then she said that you never noticed things around when they are around you. You notice them when they are absent around your environment, or you have given them to somebody, or you have left them for repair. So she's just telling her that that the things, if missing, and if they have lent means they have given at borrow, you have given those things on lent. So for example, again I heard the unnatural sound by my voice, and I went on. I remember my mother once asked me if I would help her polish the silver. It was a very long time ago, and I was probably bored that day, or perhaps I had to stay. I would help her polish the silver. It was very long time ago, and I was probably bored that day, or perhaps I had to stay at home because I was ill. As she had never asked me before, I asked her which silver she meant, and she replied, surprised, that it was the spoons, forks, and knives, of course. And that was a strange thing. I didn't know that cutlery we ate of every day was silver. So she's telling her, she's giving her an example that you never noticed if the things are around you, that how they are made, what are they made up of, but you do not notice them. You notice them when they are missing, or you have given them to some other person, or you have somehow come across them. So that happens with the narrator also. She was just staying back at the home. She has not gone to school. She might be ill at that day, and then her mother asked her to help her in polishing the silver. Silver means here the crockery is made up of silver, that contains everything: spoons, cutleries, plates, everything. So when she asked her mother that which silver are you talking about, then her mother asked her that this is the silver, that those spoons, those plates. And then she came to know that she used to eat in that silver every day. She used to eat in those silver plates, silver spoons and everything, and she was very surprised by that fact that she used to eat food every day in those silver cutleries. The girl laughed again, and that girl laughed again. She was just taking it as a jovial thing, that yes, we do not notice things very easily. I bet you do not know it is either. I looked intently at her. She said that, I bet you that I'm sure that you do not know it either. You also do not know that, these crockeries are that these crockeries are made up of silver. Which plates are you talking about? These plates are also made up of silver. And she said it intently. Intently means with having an intention. She really want to inquire about from that girl that does she know that these all cutleries do not belong to her mother. They all belongs to somebody else. What we eat with? She asked. Then she asked, what you're talking about? Those plates which we eat in. Well, do you know? Yes, she said, yes. Do you know that they are made up of silver? She hesitated. She walked to the sideboard and wanted to open a drawer. I'll look. It is in there. It is in here. She hesitated. Hesitated a lot, and then she just get up and she just goes to that sideboard and she said that I'm just looking for those things. They are in there or not? And then I jumped up. I was forgetting the time. I must catch my train. Then she suddenly jumped up. That narrator suddenly jumped up. She said that, I just forget the time and, I have to catch my train, so I have to leave. And then she had her hand on the drawer. Don't you want to wait for my mother? And then the girl asked the narrator that, do not you want to wait for my mother? You are waiting for my mother for a long while. So just wait for a while. She will be coming. And then what she said, as I walked down the passage, I heard the jingling of spoons and forks. And she was just, she just came out of the house and when she was just walking down the passage, and then she heard the jingling. Jingling means, jingling sound, or for example that crockeries are if together they make sound of jingle, or anklets make the sound of jingle, that kind of a sound. So those forks and spoons, they make a sound of jingling, and then she heard that sound at the passage when she was just moving down the passage. At the corner of the road, I looked up at the nameplate. Marconi Street, it is said. I had been at number 46. The address was correct, but now I didn't want to remember it anymore. I want to go back there because the objects that are linked in your memory with the familiar life of former times instantly lose their value when served from them. You see them again in strange surroundings. So these two lines are very important. What she said here, she said that that in the corner when she looked around, she read the board that it is a Marconi Street and the number of houses 46. She was correct. The address was very correct, but now she really do not want to learn that address, want to remember that address which she has remembered all the while coming back from the war, but she really do not want to remember. Why? Because she really do not want to go back for those objects. Why? Because those things are linked to her memories, her past memories, but now these objects are being touched by others, are being served to others, and now they are kept in unfamiliar surrounding, so they have lost their values. What are the values of this utensil? Not the usage of the utensils, that you use those utensils for eating. No, the value of those utensils, those things for her, was the memories which are attached with those objects, with those things, which make her remember all the beautiful past of her life. And now that memories have lost their values. Why? Because they belong now, technically they belong to some other people. They are using them and they are making memories with them. So that is the reason that now she really do not want to remember that address. She really do not want these things back in her life. And then and what should I have done with them in a small rented room where the shreds of black out paper still hung along the windows, and no more than a handful of cutlery fitted in the narrow table drawer? I resolved to forget the address. Of all the things I had to forget, that would be the easiest. And now she is just justifying this also, that what should she have done with those also objects, because now she is living in a very small rented room and it has a shreds, that worn out clothes, you can say that. Now that that room's shreds were hanging out there, and windows were very small, and there's a handful cutlery with her, because those table drawers and drawers, they were very small, and that this huge amount of cutlery would not fit there. So she is just justifying this way, that she really do not want these things technically, and also abstractly she also don't want them, because now they are connected to some other people, they belong to some other people. So she really do not want them in their life, because there is no place for these objects in her heart, and also not a place in her room also. I resolved to forget the address of all those things I had to forget. So she resolved, she decided, she determined herself that she's going to forget the address, and she has to forget all those things. That would be easiest thing for you. Why? Because now she had to make a fresh start, because everything she has lost in war. She has lost her mother, she has lost her house somehow, that house do not contain those memories, those past memories. Even the objects around her, they are not familiar to her, and rented room is very small for her, and it is better for her to start her life afresh with new things, with new memories. That will be good for her, because to cling to the past, that will also belong, that will also make bring pains and misery to her, because her past is also attached to the misery, to the pain which was brought to her by the war. So it will be good for her to start her life afresh. So that's how we ended our chapter here. Read this chapter again carefully, because you people are having 20 marks of the literature portion is MCQs, okay, and these MCQs were coming from these chapters also. So read your chapters. MCQs will be coming within the chapters. Read the chapters carefully, and we will do the exercise part tomorrow.